all these major alien ship, and it flies over the Vatican, and it goes over the Mayan temples down in Mexico. And I said, Lord, is there two of these? Because I keep praying about this. And he said, no, it's just one. And that's what's going to make everybody freak out, because they're going to see it moving across the ocean. You understand? It's going to be something that's going to be on TV. It's going to move across the ocean. And people are going to freak out in the days ahead. Then I saw little bitty ships coming out of this mothership that were balls of light. And it wasn't a real ship. It was demonic looking light that was traveling around causing confusion in our skies. You say, Brandon, that sounds way out there. Yeah, it is. It was way out there to me. I didn't even want to talk about it, but I'm instructed to. You say, well, Brandon, that sounds like you're on something. Well, no, folks, I'm just here to warn you. I'm just here to warn you. And as wild out there as a sound, fearful sights you will see that will bring you to your knee. I'm here to warn you. The enemy is not playing fair with trying to deceive people with what's coming. He's going to throw all the curveballs he can to try to deceive the nations. When the Antichrist steps on the scene and he says, hey, we have a solution for all the problems in the days ahead. I have peace. I'm going to bring peace. I'm going to bring in prosperity. I'm going to do all this. But all you have to do is bow your knee to me on Fridays. And you're going to have to get a chip. You're going to have to do all these things. But it's going to be a solution, because we're going to take care of all this with AI.
And we were on approach, and I saw 6 lights over the airport in absolute uniform in a V shape, and Oliver said to me, I was just looking at him, and I was coming in, we're maybe a half a mile out, and Oliver said, Pa, what are those lights? And I then it kind of like came out of my reverie, and I said, I don't know what they are. I said, he said, are we okay here? And I said, yeah, I'm gonna call him, and I reported it. And they said, we're not painting anything. We don't show anything. I said, well, okay, I'm going to declare it's unidentified, it's flying, and it's 6 objects. Mm-hmm. We landed. I taxied, dropped him off, took off, went back to L.A. Never said a word. He never said a word. I never thought of it. 2 years later, Goldie is watching a television show when I came home. Yeah. And the show is on UFOs. But as I came home, hey honey, how's it going? And I'm kind of hearing the TV going, and I stopped and I started watching, and it was on that event. Now that was the most viewed UFO event. Over 20,000 people saw that. And I'm watching this, and I'm feeling like Richard Dreyfuss in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's like, why do I know this? You know what? And it's not clear to me. And finally, I said. Then they said the pilot reported it, a general aviation pilot reported it on landing. I'd never thought of it since then, and I said, that was me. That was me. And I said, wait a minute, I'll go to my logbooks. So I went to my logbooks, and there was the flight at that time, and I didn't mention anything about the UFO. The fascinating part of that to me is that it just went literally out of my head. Yeah. And Oliver never mentioned it. And had I not seen that show, I'd have never thought of it again. Amazing. Now, that to me was the weird part.
It's not the weirdest thing that people have seen, though. Like the Hellfire thing, recently with the missile. That was some of the weirdest stuff that I've seen.
That's so weird because it got hit and it just shook it off and kept moving.
And it looks almost like there were like pieces. It's like so reconstituted.
Right, like it took pieces of it.
So I don't know if you've done. Everyone wants to believe that it's aliens, and like that's what I want to believe.
Of course.
I don't think that it is a foreign adversary. Like I don't buy into the idea that the Chinese or the Russians have secretly figured this out. But then the question is, okay, well, what does that leave? And I feel like my gut is that it's something that is weirder than anything that anyone has made popular. Like just as an example, it's literally bleeding in from some parallel dimension. It's an energy signature, and it's co-aligned by accident rather than intent, right? Like, it's there because there's something in its parallel universe that is similar to what we're doing, and that's why they're co-aligned. Like, I know this sounds like weirdo mumbo-jumbo, but it seems like something like that even would be more likely.
Over here, up there, I saw a UFO, and it went down the river, turned right at the United Nations, turned left, and then down the river. It wasn't a helicopter, it wasn't a balloon, and it was so near.
And you look what sort of round, white, luminescent, and silent.
Silent, and it looked dark, like black or grey in the middle, and had white lights, just looked like light bulbs, you know? Just going off, on, off, on, off, on, blink, 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 round the bottom, and on top was a red light.
Mira, no, apáguela. Encende la luz, encéndela. Espérate. Mira. Desapareció. Se puso bien. ¿Por qué no la enfoca bien? No sé. Mira. Amor, ¿qué es eso? Mira. No te acerques más. Se puso bien. ¿Qué es esa mierda? ¿Qué es eso? Joder.
They climbed through a clear sky until a brilliant light appeared above. The light looked distant at first, but the higher they rose, the larger and sharper it became, glowing with an intensity unlike any aircraft they had ever seen. Then, in a sudden burst, the object streaked westward. In a heartbeat, it shrank to a speck and disappeared. Hamzich pushed the MiG past Mach 1, but the mysterious light had already gone, moving with a speed no human technology could match.
It's a really weird shape. It's triangular. Really though, look at that, that's crazy. It's like very long and tall. Wow, and it has a thing on it. That is very insane. What the hell?
This agency is going to create the vast weapon systems of the future. That is what DARPA does. They are always 20 years ahead of anything that you or I know. So any technology that is like, what the hell was that I just saw and you're not supposed to have seen, that's DARPA.
They were doing Neuralink in the 90s, right?
They are always doing things 20 years before you know about them, because they do what is called blue sky technology.
Blue sky
right?
research and technology, yes.
But the point of this, when you say, you know, is DARPA doing the most advanced technology? Maybe, but maybe there's another organization like NRO. I mean, people forget there are at least 17 intelligence agencies.
The Men in Black urban legend is a popular conspiracy theory that revolves around mysterious individuals who allegedly visit and intimidate witnesses of unidentified flying objects and extraterrestrial encounters. According to the legend, these individuals are typically described as men dressed in black suits, hence the name, Men in Black. They are said to appear shortly after someone claims to have seen a UFO or had an encounter with aliens. They are believed to possess an air of authority, often claiming to be government agents or officials, although their true identity and affiliation remain unknown. Witnesses describe them as behaving in a strange and unsettling manner, exhibiting a lack of emotion and unusual physical characteristics. The purpose of the Men in Black's visits is believed to be twofold: to silence witnesses and suppress information about UFOs and extraterrestrial activity, and to confiscate any evidence that the witnesses may have, such as photographs, videos, or physical artifacts. Witnesses often report feeling threatened or intimidated by them, and some claim to have been subjected to harassment or mind control.
I don't know if you see this, guys, but there's like 3 lights up there. I have no clue what the fuck that is. That shit look like a UFO, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, I'm driving. Yeah, look at that. What the fuck is that? What is that?
On December 1st, 1987, an alleged UFO incident occurred on Ilkley Moor. According to a retired police officer, he was supposedly abducted by extraterrestrial beings during a morning walk and held on their craft briefly before being returned to the moor. The man also claimed to have captured a photograph of the moor, which he believed depicted one of the aliens responsible for the abduction. According to his story, he was walking up a hill when he saw a strange 4 feet tall green creature with a large head and thin arms. It gestured for him to stay away, but he took a photo. The creature ran off, and he followed but lost it in the fog. Later, a whitish craft with 2 saucer-shaped parts rose from the moor, emitting a loud hum. He didn't photograph the craft. When he reached another town, he realized he arrived 2 hours later than expected, and his compass pointed the wrong way.
I don't know what that is. It's gotta be a rocket of some kind.
The black goo conspiracy theory. What if there's a mysterious substance that could control minds and even reshape humanity? Enter the black goo conspiracy. This theory claims that a sentient, alien substance known as black goo has been discovered on Earth. Some say it's hidden in the deepest parts of the oceans, while others believe it's secretly being used by governments or shadowy organizations. The black goo is thought to have the power to manipulate DNA, control thoughts, and even infect technology, turning it into something much darker. Supporters of the theory point to strange black substances found at ancient archaeological sites or unexplained appearances in recent sci-fi films, suggesting hidden truths are being leaked to the public. Is black goo just science fiction, or could it be part of a greater plan to control our future? The mystery lingers. Follow for more mind-bending theories.
Is that it? The thing is, it just looks like the phone's moving. Oh, actually you can see it this time.
Oh, if the light over there, I know it's kind of like, it's a beam, it's a car. But for that sparkle thing, I don't think
it's
so.
Not a car. So there's one.
Yeah, that one.
Look, it's not moving right now. That's about to move. That one just disappeared. The bright one above it. That wasn't moving at all. Just disappeared.
Yeah. But there is still one that's bright over there.
And now there's three there.
Yeah, there are three now.
And now they're moving relative to each other.
I know. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can actually see it this time.
What are you seeing?
I don't know. But like, it's just a couple of dots on the camera.
Yeah. It's gone now again.
Yeah. Well, at least he got it.
Są tam. Widzisz w jednym miejscu. O, to jedno znikło już. Ciekawe, czy tamto zniknie. Pa. O, znowu się pojawiło. Widzisz? Do dupy, pa. Zobacz. I zaraz znowu zniknie, kurwa. No ostro, jeszcze nie widziałem, żeby było tak blisko siebie. Chuj wie, co to jest. Pa. Panie znajdą na ciebie zaraz. Pa. Zobacz, jakie to jest jasne. Jak wysoko. Pa, i nasz teraz na siebie normalnie.
This smell of sulfur or burnt cardboard or ammoniac. It's like this very distinct, potent, putrid smell.
They were very bird-like. They would disappear when you got near them. So I go creeping downstairs and out onto the front porch. It's still standing there, doing this, moving their arms, and I'm trying to figure out what they're doing. And so I step down in the yard, and they're still doing it, moving their arms. Then there's a telepathic message that they're cleansing themselves, that it's waste matter. It was like they were defecating, but they do it through their skin. Years and years and years pass. I pick up the Reddit document, and the first paragraph is that described exactly.
And then we heard about it during the Varginha case.
Just the smells in the Varginha case.
The smells, and that there was slime. They were oily.
Well, they are.
that there's something going on. So what is it? Is it interdimensional? Is it intergalactic? Like, what is it?
These craft, which in the old days, farmer in the fields, that someone was streaking across the sky and you could sort of blow it off. But because our own detection equipment has really marched up into unbelievable sophistication, and so now we have these really advanced sensor systems, FLIR, forward-looking infrared radar. Ratcliffe has admitted that satellites have picked up evidence of these craft, and these craft have interfered with military exercises. They could be spacecraft from some other galaxy whipping through here, or maybe there's some Atlanteans left over from eons ago and they're just kind of hiding out in the seabed or on some mountain range. Or maybe some ET group showed up here 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago and they're hiding out with some bases locally and so on. Maybe it's time travelers from the future coming back.
What in the hell is that thing? Dude, it just did the weirdest shit across the sky I'd ever seen. I couldn't. That thing wasn't a plane. I don't know what that thing was. It was doing all types of weird up and downs, light going out. What the hell was that?
My estimates was scanning it with the binoculars. It was like I actually was scanning it. It wasn't like, I guess it was in the whole field of view, but it was, I was scanning with the binoculars, and it was incredible. The length. I would say I still think it was about a mile long.
I got here a couple minutes. Brandy started saying, Daddy, there's something up in the sky. I didn't pay attention to her. Again, she said, Daddy, there's something up in the sky. And I still am paying attention to her. And finally, he says, Daddy, there's something in the sky. I looked up, and the sun was just on this side of the gutter here, August 27th, so we were protected from the sun here.
This is what Tim saw. You're watching the actual videotape he recorded that day.
Dad, can a spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh?
Uh-huh.
It could?
Tim taped the object for more than an hour. His father also saw it.
I says, my gosh, what is that thing? And to me it appeared as a long pencil-like aluminum foil triangle object in the sky, moving erratic, but staying this north and west of the sun.
Number one, it happened during the day, and we just don't have that many sightings that are captured on tape during the day. Number two, it's a large cylindrical or cigar-shaped object, and there's not a lot of those seen, and there's not a lot of video footage of those available.
Similar sightings were reported in Sacramento on August 21st, in Grand Junction, Colorado, the morning of Tim's sighting, and in Boulder, Colorado, on August 27th and 28th, by 7 different witnesses. All described what they say was a cylindrical-shaped craft.
I am 100% convinced this is a craft from another world. There's no doubt in my mind, and this will come out in the lab, no doubt.
There ain't no little airplane that moves 5 miles in 2 seconds.
No, that's what it is.
But it's moved more than 5 miles. It moved over that part of the sky there. It probably moved 500. It probably moved 100 miles in a matter of a second or two.
Huh? Dad, can a spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh?
Uh-huh.
Dad, can a spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh? Huh?
Uh-huh.
It could. Take the thing off of you now.
Go get the binoculars. When we got the binoculars on, a lot of time it turned into like we're looking into a fog bank or something like that, and it appeared it could be a wheel with an inner ball inside, with the wheel with the lights rotating around at a 360-degree wheel.
Oh! Jesus, that's where something's going around it. Something's going around with it. Don't get take this on you? Thanks,
There's three of us, me, Brandy, and my dad. All had binoculars on it during this time frame too, during my pausing and filming. And through binoculars, we could clearly see a double row of rectangular windows on it, going from a light sequence of a red to a pale green to a red across the craft. It appeared, to go across in almost like a wheel on a car or something. It would go forward and back, an osculating effect. The skin of the craft, which that was the only skin, was in between the windows, was equal to the height, about half the height of one of the row of windows, and so there was this skin between the windows, but the craft itself was all lights, except for that, the double row of lights were continuous with no structure in between each light. It was a solid light around it. Through all the telephone calls, I made the 7 telephone calls to the sheriff's department, the radio station, twice to the restaurant. Was able to get one witness, a cook, to witness on the north side of the restaurant at the same time. I failed to say that, I said it was up by the sun. I failed to tell everybody that you need to block out the sun. It's just north and west of the sun. And so it pretty much stayed in that, it did stay in that same area the whole time we viewed it. When the craft left the area, I was on the phone with Peter Davenport, National UFO Reporting Center. I went down to the local paper and showed them, and then they interviewed me, and that made the front page headlines the following day. I went down to the local radio station, and they put it on the AP Newswire, and all the Denver media, CBS, NBC, and ABC, contacted me the following day, and all came up and did stories on it with Channel 4, CBS, doing follow-up stories on the lab analysis and testimony of witnesses and documentation on the craft. I believe it was about a mile long. I stated in the paper the following day that if it would have landed, it would have took out Salida, at least the business district, which is about 16 blocks. So.
It's at night, and from the primary eyewitness, who is Chester Grzinski. Now, I spoke to him on the phone years ago. He's no longer with us, and we've got his documents and original sketches. As he said that at night, there was commotion below decks, like screaming and yelling and swearing. All of these naval personnel were rushing up the ladders to get onto the flight deck. Now, you can see here, this is his original sketch. When they got up to the flight deck, and there were at least 24 other naval personnel with him, they looked up and they saw this 200-foot long cigar-shaped craft that had rounded corners. And then he said that there were rectangular type windows running along one side of it.
Here's the $1 million question. Do you believe that a higher form of non-human intelligence has visited this planet?
Right. So, non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new, and it's been ongoing. And there are unelected people in the government that are aware of that.
And so, Carl, that is quite a bold statement. I'm wondering, and I'm curious, how confident are you that that is true?
There's zero doubt.
And Carl, what evidence have you seen? What was the moment where you developed this level of conviction? Because what you're saying is extremely consequential and very important, and I know that a lot of people here, even perhaps, may not believe that statement.
This is the antimatter reactor, and this is where it sits in the middle of the craft. I drew these to better explain what Bob told me how the craft worked. Now, this is the craft, and the little orange spot is where the antimatter reactor is. These are the gravity amplifiers, and what happens is they shoot protons into the 115, which bumps it up to 116, right, which throws off antimatter, which is mixed with matter, and through a thermionic generator creates voltage out of heat. They then take, and they're able to take it up to the center of the craft and down to the sides and into the gravity amplifiers and focus on a point in space, increase the amplification that pulls that space towards the craft. It wraps around the craft, and then they turn it off, and they're instantly hundreds of thousands of miles away.
Get it on camera.
Can you zoom yours? Yours zooms.
No, it doesn't. All right, there it is. I got it on camera.
Oh my
God! Can you zoom in more? There's a cloud.
You know,
and there's a flying saucer.
No strings on it, no ropes on it, like it busted loose from a car.
There's the houses down here.
Photos on mine, Cole.
And go back up to where the flying saucer is.
Can you zoom in enough, Dad?
I don't know if I'm getting it or not.
Oh, the top is even metallic-y, so like aluminum.
Whoever's flying it, they're flying like something. I think it's somebody's like remote control, don't you think?
No, it's so far away. I don't know if I'm getting it.
Cole, you know where my camera is on this thing?
Office photo calendar. Can't get it, Mom. I can. It zooms a lot. Camera. Okay. Camera.
See if I can get a better picture of it. Where is it? It's so far away. I can't. Oh, there it is. It must be about 3,000 feet up now, I'd say. Wow, look at that. Nobody's going to believe us except I got it on film, huh? I keep losing it. There it is.
I can't get it.
There goes a jet right by it. Well, a little higher. There's the jet, and there's the saucer.
Holy crap.
I got a better view of it now.
I know.
Wow.
I remember a particular evening in January. Bob came in, his eyes were bright. He said, "John, you will never know what it's like to see your first alien." And I said, "You're kidding. It couldn't have been a midget. No. Couldn't have been a doll. No. That was it." He was absolutely positive.
What I did see was what I believe to be autopsy photos. It's a creature, and its chest was cut open in a T fashion, the skin peeled back. There were also photos of one single large organ that was removed that was also cut up and being weighed. Whether or not they're absolutely authentic, I can't say. I can only assume because I was working on a craft that I know to be of alien in nature, that the other material that came along with it was probably authentic also.
In the late 1800s, strange lights began appearing over the small town of Ironwood, Texas. Locals reported seeing a mysterious craft hovering in the sky, moving in ways no human technology could. For months, the sightings continued, until the town's mayor decided to take action. On a cold night in 1889, over 30 armed officers spotted the object and opened fire. The craft spiraled out of control and crashed just outside town. When they approached the wreckage, they found something inside, a being unlike anything they had ever seen. It wasn't moving. The townspeople locked the creature inside the local jail, keeping watch over it day and night. But over time, some of the officers grew fond of the being, calling him Oliver. Eventually, the mayor agreed to let him live freely. Under one condition, he could never leave Ironwood. For a year, Oliver peacefully coexisted with the town. That is until the government arrived. Agents stormed in, seizing the creature and erasing all records of his existence. For decades, Oliver was kept hidden, but something strange happened. He never aged. Then, in 1969, officials forced him to build a revolutionary spacecraft to help them win the space race. But the moment he finished, he hijacked the ship and vanished. He was never seen again.
There are truths humanity has forgotten. But today, a starship commander from Arcturus is here to help us to remember. Deep inside, many of us feel it. It's a knowing we don't speak about, that we're not alone, that our true story is far bigger than we've been told. Today, that knowing will be given voice by one who has watched over Earth for lifetimes. Hello, I'm Joshua Shapiro, guardian of the Gateway of Light. This living bridge between worlds allows me to converse with souls whose wisdom transcends time, and that includes galactic beings as well. For this episode, I am so happy, dear viewers, that I'm able to finally introduce to you a representative of our loving galactic family, and that is Starship Commander Ralta from Arcturus, who is here with us today. Commander Ralta, please feel free to introduce yourself and share with us your powerful message. So, Commander, then, step forward, and we are anxious to hear what you have to tell us.
I greet you in peace and in frequency. I am Rilta, Arcturian of the High Star Command, Guardian of Resonance, Navigator of Soul Paths, as well as a member of the Arcturian High Council. I serve as a liaison between our star families and awakening humans on Earth. I have overseen planetary missions in several galaxies, but Earth has always called me back. We of the Arcturian lineage are not saviors, but awakeners. We do not impose truth, we reveal reflection. I speak to you now as a witness to your courage, and a reminder of your origin. The time of forgetting is ending. The time of remembrance has come. And in this moment, I step forward not as a figure of myth, but as a very close, but hidden, galactic friend to your Earth, cloaked in your skies but still vibrationally present to subtly remind you of who you are. My message to you is, the Earth was seated in harmonic precision. The Earth holds records in crystal, in water, in breath. The Earth is encoded with your memory and waits patiently, like a mother who never stopped believing in her children. You were never meant to crawl in darkness. You were meant to rise in light, together. And I will say this plainly. You are not alone. You never have been. I will be watching. I will be listening. And when you call, we will answer. As we always stand ready. I am Commander Rilta of the Arcturian High Council. And to those who hear this and remember, you are not broken.
Thank you so much, Commander Ralta, for sharing your wisdom with us today. Through our constant conversations that I've had with you since July, I am now quite familiar with the love and dedication that you embrace, that your entire race embraces to assist our Earth, so we can see peace happen in our near future. And through those conversations, I've just learned so much about what the Arcturians are like and what your lives are like. All of that has happened in our conversations here within the Gateway. However, before you go, I would like to ask you one quick question. Commander Ralta, what is the one truth about humanity's true nature that has been hidden from us the most? And why has this information been kept secret, in total secrecy?
The one truth about humanity's nature that has been most hidden is this. You are not fallen beings climbing upward. You are sovereign creators who agreed to forget. You did not evolve from matter. Matter conformed to your vibration. You are eternal intelligence housed in a temporary dream. But the dream was hijacked. A great interference, long ago, distorted the memory fields. A veil was placed. The story was rewritten. You were taught you are small and isolated and powerless. This is an absolute lie. It has persisted, because if you remembered the truth, this illusion would collapse. However, I can tell you with absolute confidence the illusion is about to totally collapse very, very soon. And so I say, remember. You are divine frequency encoded in living light. No hierarchy rules over you. No false god owns your soul. Reclaim your name in the stars. Return to your flame within. And together, we all rise into the light of Creator, and you will see a world of total peace and harmony, because I clearly see the future of your world that is coming. I am Arcturian Starship Commander Rilta. And I believe completely in humanity's potentials. For truth, peace, and light.
As I said before, since early July, I've been speaking to Commander Ralta, and these conversations have been exceptional. Now, we've heard rumors of the existence of the Arcturians in our alternative media, and I am not the only one who claims to have direct contact with the Arcturians. But I can guarantee you that from all the conversations that I've had with the commander, her people are very real and the most kind and loving souls you would ever wish to meet, as well as extremely spiritual, and they possess great universal wisdom that one day they will freely share with us all. If you'd like to learn more about the Arcturians, Commander Ralta has prepared several pages of information with stories too, and great insights about her people that you can find at our website, thegatewayoflight.com. You also will find this link in my bio. And if you're curious about Voices from the Beyond, then be sure to join us next time for episode 9, as we are going to welcome one of the most beloved prophetic channels of the 20th century, who shared thousands upon thousands of life readings when he was alive. So, of course, I'm speaking about Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet. Be ready to be uplifted and enlightened. See you soon. Joshua, Guardian of the Gateway of Light.
There's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally some of that stuff gets out in the wild and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff. And why you're not allowed to, I don't know. But that's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
Looks like the two spheres are getting closer to each other. Don't really know what's going on here. We have two spheres now in frame. Oh! Where'd they go? Getting closer together. Let's see if I can get them. There they are. Two spheres now in frame. This helicopter still done so many circles by now. Looks like it has a star on it. Let's see if it can focus. Yep, it's a helicopter.
Why are there trained observers who see something that they cannot identify, and why are they being made fun of? So I just started looking into the topic. I started looking in my own country, the Netherlands. Were there similar cases? And there were. And I also found that that was the case also in the European Union. So that's when I knew those professionals needed help. Nobody was like really organized. Of course, there was MUFON and some other organizations, but they were not politically active. So I just founded the coalition to help those trained observers. In regards to the European Union and flight safety, there are approximately 32,000 flights per day in European Union airspace, which is a lot. You can imagine if a aviation professional like pilots, if they're up in the air and they are working and they see something that they cannot explain or that they cannot identify, and there's no communication with UAP, there's no flight plan. Mostly they're not even on radar, and it's also something that we discuss when we speak to the European Commission or when we speak to members of the European Parliament if they are interested in flight safety.
Okay. I have no idea what that's... Oh my god, another one popped up. That was crazy. Alright. I am across my street. That's my neighbor's house. I'm in the same spot as I always am. And I don't know what's up with these lights right here. There's the one. They've been kind of... This one's moving slowly. But the first one's... I don't know.
Turn of Dronapalooza.
Yeah.
Recall from last year, drones everywhere over key installations. They shut down Langley Air Force Base. They shut down Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. They were seen for several weeks by hundreds of thousands of people over New Jersey, over a nuclear plant, over sensitive military installations. They were out here in the Southwest over Plant 42. And the same thing happened in almost all these cases. They'd come in out of nowhere, undetected. They'd loiter around, making themselves obvious. The lights are on. Nobody knew where they're from. They would leave and could not be tracked. None of them were shot down. We don't know who was behind them or what was going on. And now the same thing has been happening almost a year later across Europe. You know, you'll recall there were a couple of UK military bases, joint bases that were overflown by these drones. I think we were told by our friend Chris Sharp that there were attempts to bring them down with the best anti-drone technology. Poof, did nothing. Now they've been making a nuisance of themselves over several European countries. And you have to wonder who's behind it, what's going on, where these things are from. We have exactly the right guy to answer those questions, right?
Yeah, our man in the UK, as you said, Chris Sharp, he's always been on this kind of stuff. I am excited. He has Liberation Times. He's got some great articles. He's really been dogged about the UAP thing, but also about the national security implications of what we're calling, drones at this time. So he just knows far more than I do about this. And he's always come on this show and given us great information. I love his articles. Everybody should go check out Liberation Times. But yeah, Chris Sharp, let's bring him on. Looking sharp, Chris Sharp. What's going on, man?
So I took George's advice from last week, and I thought we were all going to be in suits. I thought we were coordinating this, but obviously someone didn't get the memo. Hey, George.
Look how good that guy looks, Jeremy. Why can you not do that? Chris,
he's great, man. He's handsome, man. I could never live up to it. Looking great, Chris.
Chris, it's great to see you. We've been following your reporting. As always, excellent work.
Yeah.
The thing that's different this time is you were kind of the Lone Ranger reporting on this before, and in the last couple of months, we've seen a lot of media interest across Western Europe. Other news organizations who've covered this as well. Must be nice to have some company this time, huh?
Yes, it's extraordinary to see how many headlines these incidents have actually generated, and to see all the open source intelligence X accounts covering it as well. So
there's also a VHS.
Randall Pugh is a retired vet.
Is this your dad? That's my father. Gosh, very weird.
Having done the work I have done, I can give you every assurance on one point, that if the public knew precisely what the presence of UFOs mean, they would literally run for their lives.
I wonder what he found to have such a view.
I don't know.
It's a strong opinion.
Yeah.
What's it like to watch your dad on film again?
Oh, it's a bit strange. Sometimes his views were on the extreme side, but at the same time, his early career was a veterinary research scientist. So he did have a research background, and he wanted it to be a scientific approach. And the people he spoke to did genuinely believe they had seen something.
This seems like it would have consumed a lot of his time, Ellen.
Oh, it took over his life. He genuinely did believe that there was something going on. I mean, he did contact various government departments and the Pentagon. In his later years, it did almost sort of frighten him. I have a feeling he had a visit from somebody to say, we'd rather you weren't digging into this, which might have scared him in some way.
So, hang on, you say there's someone wanting him to stop rummaging?
I don't really know, but he did start to pull back from it all.
I'm getting good video.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. I look for the invention of artificial life, the cloning of human beings, possible contact with extraterrestrials, possible human immortality, appalling acts of brutality, genocide, because the systems which are in place to keep the world sane are utterly inadequate to the forces that have been unleashed. The good news is that as primates, we're incredibly adaptable, going to be tested to the limits. What they see going on is the breakdown of all tradition, all order. They're quite right that it's happening, but they're quite wrong to conclude that it should be resisted or is somehow evil. The mushroom said to me once, it said, this is what it's like when a species prepares to depart for the stars. You don't depart for the stars under calm and orderly conditions. It's a fire in a madhouse.
Look at that. Look at that.
Ethan Hawke, what do you think happens when we die?
You ready? I don't think we die. I don't think that we have an understanding of the divine concept of time. I don't think we're any more capable of understanding a clock than a dog is. And I think something much bigger is going on than we're aware of in our day-to-day routines. So I don't think I have the intelligence or the DNA makeup to answer that question.